America will become a renter's nation in 2024. A pretty strong prediction coming from Zillow and Grant Cardone. What the housing marketplace and real estate mogul have in common, they're both saying that we're in for a huge shift when it comes to home ownership in America, or rather with non-home ownership. Zillow predicts that the soaring housing costs will propel more and more Americans to embrace renting over home ownership. Grant Cardone echoes the same sentiment, envisioning America transforming into a renter's nation where cars, living spaces, and maybe even clothes are going to be leased by people. The housing unaffordability crisis is definitely real. In fact, a recent survey of over 2,000 non-homeowners reveals that 2 out of 5 Americans believe winning the lottery is their only ticket to home ownership. We're also going to take a look at renting. Some new California laws signed by Governor Gavin Newsom in 2023 set to take effect in 2024, impacting eviction laws, security deposit caps, and credit history rules for renters and for landlords. And lastly, we even address a critical question: is renting forever that bad? We'll uncover the rarely discussed benefits of not buying a home in today's eye-popping real estate episode. So just stay right there. Here's what I was talking about earlier. California renters getting some more protections in 2024 under new laws. Check this out.
And California and San Diego in particular have some of the highest rents in the entire nation. And that, of course, translates to excessively high security deposits that would-be tenants have to come up with to secure an apartment. But this new law will cap that security deposit at 1 month's rent.
I think it's an excellent idea. I think it should be done. People living in San Diego need help.
More on these new California renters laws in the next video. So stick around, guys. We'll definitely need all the help we can get as Zillow and Grant Cardone predict that America will become a renter nation in 2024. High housing costs will drive more and more Americans to become home renters instead of home owners in 2024. At least that's according to Zillow. For the housing marketplace platform, the housing unaffordability in America will make the new starter home a single-family rental in America. And I've been talking to my friends about this, and they mentioned that they observed the number of families living together rising. I mean, I do know some people who grew up with aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, etc., living all under the same roof at one point or another. Some say it's about protection and about being able to save more money. And for some, it definitely makes sense. There doesn't really seem to be a hard rule about having to move out at 18 years old anyway, right? Just the one that people came up with. I mean, I myself, I didn't move out until I was like 27 years old. One way or another, we're definitely going to have to find a solution for our housing unaffordability issue. For real estate mogul and millionaire investor Grant Cardone, we may just see some substantially longer mortgage terms on the horizon. His prediction? It's not going to be lower prices that save America. Instead, longer mortgages. Meaning, in our lifetime, we could possibly see mortgages go from 30 to 40 to 50, maybe even 60-year mortgages. You could, if you live long enough, see a 100-year mortgage in America. Yikes. He even goes as far as to say that America will become a renter nation where you will rent your cars, you'll rent where you live, you might even rent the clothes on your back on the future. Now, I'd love to hear what you guys think about that one. I mean, he may not be too far off with his prediction. According to the latest survey, home affordability is so out of reach right now that 2 out of 5 Americans think that they would need to win the lottery in order to become homeowners. That's according to a recent survey of 2,000 recent non-homeowners, only 53% of whom are confident in any way that they'll be able to own their own home someday. Some are taking it out on the big companies like BlackRock and Vanguard. For them, these huge investment companies buying up homes and renting them out is the main reason why inventory is so scarce. BlackRock and Vanguard's portfolios are making huge profits. So once they start dumping these homes back on the market, it'll be a major market crash. Now, overall, the average American thinks that it would take them between 3 and 4 years to be able to afford a home. And a third believe that it would take them 5 years or more. Another 20% expect that they'll never be able to afford a home. Let me know what you guys think about this. And hey, if you appreciate the information and the real truth behind the headlines, feel free to show your support, light up the like button, and help us reach more people through those YouTube algorithms. Hit the subscribe button and also tap that notification bell for more updates like this one. Also, if you already own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote, link in the description down below this video. In the state of California, Governor Gavin Newsom signed bills into law in 2023 that will go into effect throughout 2024, including new eviction laws, a security deposit cap, and changes to credit history rules for renters and for landlords. On October 11th, Governor Gavin Newsom approved a similar Assembly Bill 12, which will prevent landlords from charging renters 2 or 3 times the amount of monthly rent as a security deposit. In short, renters in California can no longer be asked for a security deposit larger than 1 month's rent for leases signed on or after July 1st. Beginning April 1st, landlords will not be able to evict tenants with the hopes of moving in their own family members if there is no other space vacant on the landlord's property. If no other space is available, the landlord can lawfully evict a tenant but must prove that they are moving in family members within 90 days after the tenant is evicted and that they will occupy the unit for at least 1 year. Assembly Bill 1418 will prohibit a local government from having tenants evicted or even penalized because of the tenant's association with suspected criminal activity or other nuisance activity. This new law took effect January 1st. Now, there's also another California renter law that took effect on January 1st of this year, like the one preventing rental property owners from using an applicant's credit history to determine their financial eligibility without offering the opportunity to provide evidence of legal means to pay rent instead. And another allowing landlords and people applying to become tenants to use email as long as both parties agree. Senate Bill 712 prevents landlords from prohibiting their tenants from owning and charging electronic bikes and scooters in their apartments as long as the batteries comply with safety standards. Disabilities Assembly Bill 1620 allows local governments that have enacted rent control to maintain the same rent amount if the tenant requests to move to a more ideal or smaller unit due to a permanent disability related to mobility. Trespass letters Senate Bill 602 allows property owners to extend a no trespass letter from 30 days up to 1 year for an amount of time determined by a local jurisdiction. If a no trespass letter is on file, landlords won't need to go to court to have enforcement evict an individual who claims to be a legal tenant. These days, renting may very well be the best thing that makes sense for some people, whether it's by choice or by circumstances. I mean, not everybody can pull 200 grand out of their wallet for a down payment and hopefully qualify for a 7% mortgage. Then if they buy a small house in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't really make sense. Their job isn't there, and neither are their family or friends. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the rarely discussed benefits of not buying a home. For instance, even though buying a home is often touted as the ultimate wealth building move, there's actually a flip side to the idea. Some people opt to rent instead, channeling their extra cash into investments that generate interest income. This strategy in turn gives their net worth a boost. If people are raking in solid returns on their invested cash, they might very well find themselves earning much more than what they would have earned sitting in dead equity in a home. Just ask Florida homeowners who got hit unexpectedly with higher property taxes, soaring insurance costs, and increased homeowners association fees and maintenance assessments. So if you think about it, buying a home can bring financial gains, but it's not without its fair share of risks. If you're renting, just think, you're not in debt for 30 years. Buying a home ties up your money for a good chunk of time. Plus, if you go the mortgage route, you're not dealing with the purchase price. There's the extra debt in the form of mortgage interest hanging over your head. So for example, if you purchase a $380,000 home at an interest rate of 7.5%, you will pay close to $461,000 in interest alone for a 30-year loan, assuming the typical 20% down payment. Let me repeat that for you guys. An additional $461,000 in interest is what you'll pay over 30 years. Yeah, that's right. That's way more than the initial price tag of the home. Now, compare that with renting. No need to sign up for a lengthy 30-year mortgage commitment. This not only gives you some financial wiggle room, but also eases the burden of carrying around some very heavy debt. Another advantage of renting, you have no risks tied to market instability. Mortgage interest rates, home prices, inventory, and foreclosure rates. The housing market's like a roller coaster and with a bunch of unpredictable twists. It's a game of variables that you really can't control. And for homeowners with all their money locked into their house, this instability can definitely be a nerve-wracking ride. Renters, on the other hand, get to sidestep this whole problem as they're not directly hit by the ups and downs of the housing market, whether it's the value of the properties taking a nosedive or a fall-on housing market crash. It's a level of financial detachment that the homeowners don't enjoy. Plus, you don't have to worry about home maintenance, and you're really not tied down to your house. You have more freedom, more flexibility than owning should you decide to move at some point. Most rental leases are for 1 or 2 years. You can even break your lease early in certain circumstances or get someone to sublet from you. Now, let's talk about the not so great side of renting. Renters usually face restrictions when it comes to sprucing up their place or making any kind of upgrades affecting how much they can actually really make it their own place. On top of that, cost stability isn't exactly a guaranteed perk when you're renting. Rents go up all the time. As a renter, you're stuck in a cycle of paying rent that tends to go up year after year after year. And if you're looking for a tax deduction, homeowners have you beat. The mortgage interest deduction is one of the most substantial tax deductions available. And as mentioned earlier, buying a home is a primary way to build generational wealth, something forever renters will definitely miss out on. And let's not forget about the simple fact that the landlord can ultimately decide that they don't want to rent the home anymore, put the home on the market for sale, and in the meantime, you'll have to find a new place to live. But what do you guys think? Are you team renters or team homeowners? Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below so we can continue the conversation. I can definitely pick this up in another video. More real estate and financial insights on the next one. I'll see you guys there.